Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I am here to review... What is it called again? Oh, yeah, Free Guy! Yes, Free Guy, the new Ryan Reynolds movie. It's sort of a video game movie, sort of not a video game movie. Now, I'm not going to get into the spoilers of it in this conversation because there are some things that are very unexpected in this movie. Most of the movie isn't... Okay, so this movie in a nutshell is... Imagine if the Lego movie and like GTA Online had a baby. That's basically what that's basically the idea of the movie. Like honestly, it is if GTA Online and the Lego movie had a child, it would be this movie. It has all the heart and the self-referentialness and intrigue of these characters. Not, you know, I'll get into that in a little bit, but all the stuff that made the Lego movie so cool, it has all of that. But on top, but it's a video game world, and it's kind of like a GTA, like I said, GTA Online kind of thing going on with it. So it has that going for it as well. Sorry about the light thing going on here. Like I just noticed it. Like it's weird, but whatever. It has that going for it as well. But so the story is you follow Ryan Reynolds' character's Guy. He lives in Free City. And Free City is chaos. Every day there's people coming in glasses and destruction and stuff. And when he goes to bed, it starts all over again. Everything's repaired. And it's apparent Guy is an NPC, a non-playable character for us, for the gamers not out there. That's what an NPC is. So if you watch the movie and you kept being called NPC, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? It's a non-playable character. Every video game has them. Like every video game has them, especially the open world games. Now some NPCs do more than others. Some NPCs are just there to be, you know, attacked and hit. Others are there to actually help, but still NPCs. And he is an NPC. His world are NPCs, but all of these NPCs are oddly realistic-ish. Turns out the reason that they are like that, there's a reason for that you discover throughout the movie that's like, whoa. But other than that, Ryan Reynolds, but one day he meets the woman of his dreams, the woman he's always wanted to be with. And it's almost like his programming kind of shortens. And he goes off routine, pursues her, and it leads down an entire mountain of discovery of you know, it's a whole movie. The whole movie's about freedom and discovery and what it means to be alive and the idea that you don't have to they say it even in the movie. You don't have to let life happen to you. Life is something you can live. You know, that you don't have to be put in a box, that you can be more, you can do more, you can do whatever you want to do. Even if you're not real. So, but the movie itself is fun. It's a fun-ass movie. Me and Steph had a good time watching this movie. Ryan Reynolds is charming as hell. The woman, I don't know the name of the actress who played Millie, but she was interesting and charming, and the story behind her and the real life person who she actually was and why she's playing the game is interesting, and you kind of discover that this game might not be what it's cracked out to be. There's a bunch of commentary on the video game industry, especially with Taika Waititi coming in playing a villain, and he's kind of playing this this man-child, like 50-year-old dude who dresses like he's still 16 or 18, who dresses hip and he's got the shoes and stuff. Like, it's making fun of the idea of like the game designer, like the head game designer being weirdos, being like man-children and being like obsessed with money, and the whole idea of like, we're just making a sequel. Like, they even make it, he even straight up says, why would we make a new game when people are buying this game? I will just make a sequel to this game and then people will buy that game. Why would I make a new one? And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing there. Like there's a lot of video game lingo happening in here. There's a lot of video game references. There's a lot of references to other things. There's a reference, multiple references near the tail end of this movie that blew me and Seth's skulls, because I was just like, how did they get that into this movie? I know for a fact this movie was made before before Disney bought Fox. So how the hell did you guys manage to get this in this movie? It had to have been at the last minute. You'll see it when you know it, but like you'll know it when you see it. But yeah, it's got a great story. It's got a fun, nice little story. I liked all the characters. It's very upbeat. I do have a problem. There are a couple problems. First of all, it's still not the most original thing. It does not reinvent the wheel. This has been done before. You know, you got things like The Truman Show. You got things like The Matrix, like being trapped. Like there are many movies that have done this kind of premise, and not to mention the Lego Movie did this premise, like the idea of this, so much better than this movie did. Because the Lego Movie had a little bit more heart than this movie. This movie has heart, but not as much as the Lego Movie. I think the Lego Movie is like ridiculously good. Like I love the Lego Movie, by the way. Like I even dug the sequel, which I'm not sure how people felt about the Lego Movie sequel. I reviewed it. I dug both movies. I dug the first one completely, utterly up and down. And that's what this movie felt like to me at points, at times. It was like light, Lego Movie light. Not to mention, just minor spoilers. Me and Seth could not get over the idea that I'm like, I know we're supposed to be rooting for Guy, but he is sentient AI, and that is not good. And me and Seth just couldn't kind of get around that. We're just like, this ain't good, man. This is not good. Like, and like near the tail end of the movie, I was like, somebody needs to blow that apartment up right now. They are making Skynet. But I digress. And there are other things in the movie that are a little over the top. Taika Waititi's villain, while entertaining, doesn't make a lick of sense why he wouldn't just buy off his enemies. Doesn't make a lick of sense, considering the amount of money he was supposedly making, and it seemed like they were making off of the game. It doesn't make a lick of sense why he would linger it out, why he would do certain aspects. It's just like, in real life, we know how this would have went. He would have bought them off. Because in the end, I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to get in spoilers, but there's an enemy coming after Taika after the villain, and the reason they're coming after them is reasonable reasons, and it could have easily been resolved, and it's just blown up to such a ridiculous proportion that it's just like, that's not how that would have went. In real life, these big companies would have just done this, but they don't. Not to mention, there was a bit of a weird. Not to mention, there are other aspects of it that, you know, it is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, I still enjoyed this movie. I still had fun with it. It was an enjoyable time. By the time it came to an end, I wasn't like, oh, okay. I think it was an appropriate time. It's probably the only movie I've seen this year so far, outside of Black Widow. That at the time that I didn't feel the length, because I enjoyed Jungle Cruise, but I felt the length. There are a couple, basically almost every movie I've seen this year, almost, not all. I'm sure there's a couple that, if I was to think about, I felt the length. I did not feel the length on this movie at all. It was a fun, breezy 1 hour and 50 minutes movie. It's a good time. You should go out and see it if you're a video game fan, or if you just need to go out and have a good time with the kids or with your family. Go check out Free Guy. It's a fun time. Ryan Reynolds is fun in it. It has a lot of references. It has a lot of stuff going on. It has some really, like I said, it's funny as hell at bits. I had a good time with this movie. I give Free Guy, I give it an 8. An 8. I'll give it a solid 8. I had a good time with this movie. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.